just like what she does and
Where do you want to do it?
we'll do it
Right after four?
right after the two more minutes. Or you can do it after 3 or 4. Either way.
Why don't you do it after four? We'll do it. Where's how do you say Michelle's last name? Polk? Talk.
I will send, I'll send by. I'm going to Florida tomorrow.
I'll let the judge.
So proud.
Okay, I usually go around. It's perfect, it's.
Oh, here she is.
What?
We're gonna start recognizing an employee every month. Yeah, and then we're gonna do some sort of the alternative months who have an interest in government. Give them a gavel,
Oh, okay, that's right.
stuff like that. We got 3. Maybe. Candidate first, then go to Liggett, then go to middle school. Yeah, so we do a couple of August. Yeah, good.
This will be a half.
Hot, right? You said hot?
Yes.
Yeah.
What's the thing?
Yeah, they're really nice.
Expert from a doctor, specialist from UVA. Doing grant methods. I believe that's the.
The new chief judge of the circuit.
Yeah, right.
She didn't want the agenda out of the caution.
Wow.
They're close. I took it.
I know. But people. Yeah. Times have changed. 40.
7 p.m.
7 p.m.
I'm gonna wait. Just gonna wait 1 minute, please, for our photographer to back up. Get started.
Oh, that. It's a lot.
That was me.
My bad.
This is glasses now. Let's see. Oh, wow. This is pretty.
Thank you.
Good night.
Good night. Thank you. All right, good evening. We will call this regular meeting of the Grosse Pointe Farm City Council to order. Welcome, everyone. We are delighted you're here, and we're delighted that many are watching on YouTube as well. I'd ask everyone to please stand and join Mr. Rowland, our Finance Director, in leading us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. City Clerk, Assistant City Manager Kozicki, will you please call the roll
Councilmember Wood. Here. Councilmember Conrad Wilbrink.
Here.
Councilmember Ritchie.
Here.
Mayor Lily.
Here.
Councilmember Donovan.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Soroka. Here. Councilmember Jensen.
Councilmember Jensen is absent. I entertain a motion to excuse Councilmember Jensen, please.
So moved.
Motion
Second.
by Mayor Pro Tem Soroka, supported by Councilmember Donovan. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion carries. Thank you. Next, I entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the regular city council meeting held on January 12, 2026. Please, is there such a motion?
So moved.
By Councilperson Conrad Wilberding, support by Councilmember Donovan. Any discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Next, we're going to do something new here at Grosse Pointe Farms, and it's exciting, quite frankly. We're going to begin every other month to represent a city employee whose tasks often go unrecognized. We have, as you've heard me say in the past, and others on city council, an absolutely great administrative staff. And every other month, we're going to begin to recognize one of our fantastic city employees. And with that, the first individual we're going to recognize is Michelle Hawk. Ms. Hawk, would you step forward, please, if you don't mind? Thank you. Come on up to the podium. We're going to read a statement about you, and thank you, I know. But Ms. Hawk has been a dedicated member of our Treasury Department in Grosse Pointe Farms for 18 years. She earned a well-deserved promotion to the position of Deputy Treasurer in 2022. In 2025, she prepared very hard and achieved the Michigan Certified Professional Treasurer designation after completed an extremely rigorous 3-year training program, 3 years through the Michigan Municipal Treasurers Association. Michelle is often the friendly face residents encounter when they pay water or tax bills. In fact, I got a call from her last week, as a matter of fact. Always ready to assist with a warm smile. Behind the scenes, she oversees the entirety of the tax process services, from bill preparation to final settlement of taxes. She also manages all of our workers' compensation claims and our liability insurance claims. There's absolutely no doubt but that Ms. Hawk's extensive experience, her professionalism, and unwavering commitment make her an invaluable asset to the city of Grosse Pointe Farms. Ms. Hawk, we appreciate you. Thank you for your leadership in the city, and we're hoping you're here for many years to come. Please join me in recognizing Ms. Thank you. Next, we're going off the agenda very briefly, and I'd ask, we have a new chief judge in the circuit court for the county of Wayne. I'm sure I will see her in her courtroom in a not too distant future. Judge Nicole Casca is here. Judge Casca, if you don't mind stepping up, and she's going to present an overview of our court and jury services tonight. And it should be a very good, quick, informational presentation by the judge. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you, thank you. And I'm not Chief Judge, that's Chief Judge Newell. I'm
Oh.
in the person in the privilege, but thank you.
I'm sorry. Thank you. Yes, do.
Everyone.
Good evening.
With me back. Mike, and I want to thank the Grosse Pointe Farms City Council for allowing me to come in and give this little presentation. And thank you, folks, for being here as well. And so we have a little PowerPoint. Where's our PowerPoint going to be? Okay, so we can start it whenever. Okay. So my name is Judge Nicole Casca. I sit on the criminal bench in Wayne County Circuit Court over at the Criminal Justice Center. I'm going to call it CJC. That's a lot of words to have to say over and over again. But we're going to go and give you an overview as to why I'm here and why we're addressing everyone. So what we're trying to do is do some community outreach, because we know that there's a lot of questions that that perhaps the folks in Wayne County may have. And so we're trying to do a little tour throughout each of the city council meetings to go and give updates about the court so that you know what is going on. So this is part of our community outreach program here at Wayne County Circuit Court. And we think it's very important. We're trying to emphasize our mission and our vision, not only for the courts, but also for Wayne County and how we can better serve the citizens of Wayne County through the various divisions, that being civil, criminal, juvenile, as well as friend of the court. Probate and district courts, those are separate courts. I will not be talking about them. So they're not gonna be under my umbrella. And we also want to let you know about some new innovations that we've been doing, especially at the Criminal Justice Center, as far as jurors and making it easier for juror service. I know you've never imagined somebody saying it'd be easier to be a juror. We have been working on that at the Criminal Justice Center, and we'll talk about that. But we, at the court, we also do things such as, our annual Law Day event that is actually coming up at the end of April, as well as Reunification Day. We have our new lawyer swearing in that just had that back in November, and that was amazing. As well as Adoption Day, celebrating those that are becoming new families. And giving them, you know, their little bragging rights, because yes, it's kind of exciting when a family get formed in the family court, and it's a moment to celebrate along with the other events that we're doing. So we often want to talk about what's been going on with jury service. So we have, as of 2024, these numbers usually stay consistent from year to year. 225,240 residents were summoned for jury duty in 2024. We're still compiling the numbers for 2025, and that's among the three major divisions that are having jury trials, that being juvenile, civil, and the criminal division. And we often are always asking our jurors, what can we do to improve your experience, to make it better, so that one, you can be focusing on the case and not having to worry about other things such as parking. And at the Criminal Justice Center, we have solved that. We have free parking for our jurors. Isn't that exciting?
Yeah.
I think we're one of the only courts divisions in Wayne County. They're trying to go in and do something with the civil division as well, which will and then juvenile, making better parking, making it safer, because the whole thing is that we have a lot of folks coming in who have cases, whether they're for one party or the other, or they are, and so we want to make sure that jurors were not having to be sitting in hallways where the parties were, witnesses. It kind of just creates an appearance of impropriety, but also people start talking and then they're getting information about a case before they've even been impaneled on the jury. And so what we've been able to do at the Criminal Justice Center, we have an actual jury room, like a huge jury room, but we have the back hallways that are not open to the public, that they are guided through by the Wayne County Sheriff's Department, by the deputies to come in and out of the courtroom. So there's a lot more sanctity with the jury, with our jury panels having any type of potential biases or motives as far as getting information that they should be getting while they're sitting in the courtroom listening to testimony and reviewing evidence. And so we have been told that jurors have been very positive in their feedback with us, is that one about the free parking, but second is that when we've been giving them timelines as to how long we're going to be keeping them, or what we think how long the case will be taking, we've been sticking to it. Not saying that some cases do run longer because you have witness problems and everything, but a lot of times, if we're saying 2 to 3 days, that's usually what our jurors are staying there on a case. And so they're being able to go into deliberations and being able to get back to their families and their work in our school. So what we have with our innovation, if you see on the page, it says, thank you, jurors. We have the pictures of the Criminal Justice Center. We've got new jury rooms, like they have wonderful furniture in here. They also have enough space where they can go and not only sit at a big conference table, and we have it set up for 14 because we have the 2 alternates until the very end, but we also have a refrigerator in there, a Keurig, a water cooler, so that they have the comforts. And usually, like, I know my courtrooms are always supplying some extra little treats like snacks and stuff like that, keeping them very happy. We even have some board games in there when they have to wait in there while we're hashing out something on the record about the case or maybe taking on another case that has nothing to do with what they're here for. We always are finding what's going on and giving them something to keep them occupied, so they're not wasting their time. But we have a lot more space in the Criminal Justice Center, which is very cool, as well as more natural light coming in. A lot of folks, parties too, have commented on the little comment cards that they liked that there was more light. And that it wasn't the harsh overhead lights, there was more natural light coming in those hallways, and that made a big difference. We also have some fantastic modern technology as far as our recording with our JAB system, as well as being able to use that to go and have exhibits be shown and then have witnesses circle certain areas, whereas before we would have to take the exhibit and then have them mark in another marker, hand it back, and then publish it by holding it up to the jurors. All 14 of them in the box. And so now they can actually see it on multiple screens in the courtroom, like big screens. And it's amazing because nobody has to move from their seat in order to see something happening in the courtroom. And we have a lot more efficiency for the presentation of evidence for both parties, as well as for the jurors to be able to go and be able to receive that information and be able to see it clearly. So, as Wake County Circuit Court, we sit above the district court, as well as probate and the municipal courts, which I know Grove Farms, just like in my neck of the woods, but with our municipal court. Decisions from our court, if anybody wants to appeal their case, like decision, judgment, sentence, conviction, then they would go to the Court of Appeals, which would be the next higher court from the circuit court. And then eventually the Michigan Supreme Court, in criminal cases, then they could go to, they could apply for cert to the federal court. Now, out of the court, we have to say that these judges across the division. We are, just so you know, we are the largest circuit court in the state of Michigan. And I believe, I know we're in the top 10, aren't we, Michael?
Internationally, and
You're down two more.
more than double the size of any circuit court in Michigan.
Yeah, so and I know we're in the top 10, we might be closer to the top 5 in the United States. As far as the size of our circuit court. And we have 60 judges, 25 referees. We have more than 500 total employees. And our business hours from 8:30 in the morning until 4:30 p.m. But there's many times where we have officers, police officers coming in with search warrants after 4:30 that they need to be dealt with and signed. And so we do stay open even later. Our 4 locations is the Coleman A. Young Municipal Center, which is KMAC for short. And that where Spirit of Detroit sits for civil, family, and domestic cases. We have the Lincoln Hall of Justice, which is our juvenile division. Criminal Justice Center, which is criminal, that's where I sit, courtroom 502. And then the Penobscot building, which is our front of the court. Now, our mission is to serve the community by providing accessible and equal justice for all. We really take note of making sure all the parties are able to have their time before the court and they're able to address what they need to for their case and given the time. There's that point of, we talk about it on the bench in our bench meetings of equal access to justice and also having dignity for the parties. It's not about whether we agree or disagree with anybody's point. It's not about that. As judges, we have to maintain that we're calling fouls and strikes, if you want to get technical. But we have to make sure that there is decorum that is followed. We have to make sure that the parties have their chance at the microphone to be able to state what they need to state. And so we've been getting a lot of great feedback as all the judges have been working very diligently to go and ensuring that we are giving the parties access to being able to have the cases heard in a very holistic manner. Our vision is to be exemplary and innovative court leading with integrity and providing justice and public service. We are here to serve the citizens of Wayne County, hands down. That is always what's foremost in my mind, as well as my colleagues that I share the bench with. We're always concerned about how can we better serve Wayne County and the citizens. That's why we're always, talking about how can we make, doing the tweaks that we can with the jurors coming in, because we know that they are such an important part of our system. I mean, especially in criminal division. Without the jurors, we would not be able to resolve cases. We'd be at a standstill. And we were at a standstill when we couldn't do jury trials during the pandemic. And I remember because I was a practicing criminal defense lawyer at that time. And a lot of cases, we had such a backlog, which we've been able to with the help of some visiting judges and all the other judges, really just, once we were able to go back into the court and have jury trials, we were able to go and work that backlog down with the help of some visiting judges. To the point, I think we have less than 200, I think.
Yeah, at one point it was a couple.
It was almost 3,000 jury trials backlog, and most of them were from criminal division. And so we've taken that very seriously, and we're continuing to go and not rush cases, but also we're not letting cases just languish out there. There has to be speedy trial. There are certain steps that have to be followed and adhered to, and we've been maintaining that. Now, the Wayne County Circuit Court, we do work in conjunction with some other entities. The Wayne County Clerk's Office, Kathy Garrett heads that up. They provide our clerks in the court. They are the keeper of the records, making sure everything is entered into orders, everything is entered in the register of action that tells you what happened on a particular date. That hearing, what type of hearing it was, the parties that were there, whether there was any exhibits that were admitted or anything like that, testimony taken. They are the keepers of the record. That is such a sacred duty, a sacred job. And we have them working with us. I had a great clerk, Mrs. Brown, and a lot of us judges are very blessed with the caliber of clerks that we have. We also work with the Wayne County Sheriff's Department. So we have in the criminal division, we have 2 deputies in every courtroom. When we have an in custody on a capital case, that's, rape, robbery, murder, we usually have 3 deputies. And if it's a very high profile case or one where we know like might have been a potentiality that there might be a scuffle. So we have more deputies that are always called for that. And they work very diligently on keeping security and the public safety for all, not just for the staff, but also for the members that are in the courtroom, as well as out in the public hallway. And then our last entity that we do work with is Wayne County Prosecutor's Office. Kim Worthy is the head of the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office. And in criminal division, we have a courtroom prosecutor as well as the other prosecutors that cover various divisions like domestic violence, elder abuse, the criminal sexual conduct, the adult cases, as well as where the complaining witness is a child, and the child abuse. We also have Wayne County prosecutors over at City County Building, or KNAC, old school called City County Building still, and they are in the family division as far as the PPO hearings and dealing with some of those family court matters. Now, see, we have 4 divisions, so we have civil, criminal, family, domestic, and family juvenile. So juvenile and domestic, which would be anything dealing with child support, child custody, divorce, friend of the court, issues about parenting time. That is going to be covered under the family division of domestic. And then juvenile is branched under family division as well. That is with folks that are charged with a crime that are under the age of 18. And we also have truancy matters that are dealt with in that court as well as the adoption and the guardianship matters as well. There are many of our teens and youngins have guardianship. Now, criminal, we're dealing with adults, that being 18 and older, who have been charged with a crime that involves a statutory maximum penalty of at least a year and a day or more. So that's what differentiates us from district court, which the misdemeanors would be, the maximum penalty you could be facing would be a year or less. And so that's where we appeal, and we also take the criminal appeals from the district courts or the municipal courts, in the felony division. And then so, if people are suing someone for money or malpractice or something, and so they're, that's happening over in civil, and there is, it has to be 25,000 or more in order to be able to file in civil court for that. And dealing with property mayors, the election mayors, so an election mayor, always an election year, which this is an election year, will always be a hot topic, and there'll be a lot of lawsuits, unfortunately, which will have to be sussed out by our chief judge, who's Chief Judge Edward Buell, newly appointed this year. And so, number of cases that we have, just 2024, we're still, I think we're still calculating the 2025 numbers. In appeals and reviews, we had 570. For our civil division, 18,338. Criminal division had 7,127. Family had 33,268 for a grand total of 59,303 cases.
Wow.
And so we are a very busy court across all 4 divisions, and we do a lot of great work every day. And so now I would like to open it up to the council, and then maybe any member audience for any questions that I can answer about Wayne County Circuit Court.
Does anyone on council have, and thank you, Judge, so very much for your time and that of your staff that's here tonight. Does anyone on council have any questions for Judge Casca, please? Councilmember Wood?
Question. Something of a timely thing that's in the news these days, election and election fraud, and what can we expect for the future? Page 6, right, page 8, where you describe the 4 different divisions. Civil has election matters apparently.
Yes.
Can you tell us what is the court doing to educate the public that we have free, fair, safe, transparent elections, that nothing's going to go wrong? Hopefully, I mean, maybe you can tell us what are the threats, the opportunities for, you know, the November elections.
Well, and that's a great question. And unfortunately, I think Wayne County Circuit Court, because we are only dealing with we don't do education as to that. We look to other organizations to go and provide that, such as the League of Women Voters. But what we do, and I remember back in the 2024 election, there was a number of lawsuits that were filed, particularly one I can bring up is against a couple of the judges saying that their paperwork was not exactly correct. And I think it was like one little box that was, one was incorrectly checked or something like that. And it's the same man who has been filing lawsuits every election cycle. And he's able to get away with this. I know after the 2024 election, there was a deeper dive put forth by the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office. I don't know what came of that because they're still doing an investigation and they don't reveal what's going on until they're actually ready to charge somebody. But I know that they were looking into, because they thought it was bringing fraudulent suits to harass elected officials who were running for election, as well as other folks who were trying to even just get on the ballot. And so to answer your question as to what can we do to educate our citizens about fair and transparent elections, I think you need to do what you're doing right now. Talk about that with your friends and neighbors, talk about that with your coworkers. I mean, this is a right that we fought for. I mean, does everybody realize that we fought for our right to be able to vote? Because before, when we were in England, that's one of the main reasons why we came, because we wanted to be free, we wanted to have freedom of expression, we wanted to have freedom of speech. We also wanted to be able to elect and not have a monarch be going and calling the shots. And that's why we have democracy. For the people, by the people, always. So with that being said, what can we do? What can the court do? I know in my court, I go before I start the day, I would go down to the jury panel. It's a huge room, like it can hold, I think, about 600, if I'm not mistaken, of potential jurors that we get on any given day, Monday through Thursday. I go and talk to them about the importance of their duty and how it's ingrained in the Constitution. I don't know, I know there's one other judge who does talk to them, I don't know what he talks about, because I haven't heard him talk. But I think if we have more of us doing things like that. Because getting into the transparency, it gets a little bit political and we're not partisan and we can't get into that, but. I really encourage everybody to be talking about, I'm supposed to be fair and transparent elections. And that everybody has the right to vote.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else on council? Any members of the public have a question or comment for Judge Casca, please? Judge, thank you very much again to you, Mr. Scott, and your entire staff. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Continued success to you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, please, is on agenda item number 5, consideration of a request from Thrive on the Hill to host an event and to close Kirchhoff Avenue on July 18, 2026 for the purpose of conducting a health expo, so to speak. Who's here to present on your behalf? Mr. Giancola?
Yes,
Good evening.
it's my wife, Kristen.
Kristen, Ms. Giancola, good evening. How are you? Thank you both for being here. Whoever's going to present, give us a short summary, please. And we'll allow for public comment and questions by council.
Yeah, just looking to do that similar scope, as far as the timing and the size of the art festival. Looking to do a wellness event, focus on the community. We have between 40 and 60 Grosse Pointe vendors that would be there. All from gyms to health and wellness, all various. So really just looking to, educate the community on what's available to them and have a single, non-threatening space for them to come in and try out new things they haven't, maybe they want to check out, so.
And the proposed hours of operation that day are 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m., correct? And we've sent this by Public Safety, has had an opportunity to comment on it, Director Hutchins. And what are your findings, please?
We don't really have any issues with it. It's not like, fast paced for kids to event, or as he stated, I'm sure we can handle it.
Great. And I'd also note that they have submitted a declarations page of a policy of liability insurance listing the city of Grosse Pointe Farms as an additional insured, signed a release as well. Thank you very much. First, I'll open it up to members of council for any questions or comments they have regarding this request. Anyone, please? We'll start with Mr. Wood on your side.
I have no question.
Thank you.
I just had a question about, I think this is a great idea, but it's just a question about, I seem to recall most of the time we've done these sorts of things, they've been for nonprofit organizations. Is there any kind of expense to the city to be aware of with this kind of event?
City Manager Resai.
Yeah, there probably will be some expense, public safety, we'll have a presence, there'll be public works department, trash removal, things of that sort, but I feel it'll be pretty nominal. And again, the value of this is really public education as well, and the opportunity for people to learn how to live healthy lives.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments from council? Questions or comments from the public, please?
Dan Milan from Hill Associations here.
Great, yes. Mr. Lalonde, step forward, please. If you two could yield the microphone real quick to Mr. Lalonde, it'd be very much appreciated.
Thank you.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. I've been on the Hill for 25 years and I've been the president of the Hill Association for 12 years. And I've seen a lot of events come and go. We had a premier event with the Racing for Kids that lasted 15 years. And the problem that happened with that is all the committee members got older and older and couldn't handle it anymore. So it's imperative that as we all get older, that the younger ones that are willing to do some of the things to put on these events, they're supported by the city and we can put these on. We need the younger people coming up and doing these so that it's there for the community. After every event that I've been involved in, someone pops their head in my store and goes, "Thank you for doing that event. It was very nice." That is a better reward than money. These don't bring money to the businesses. It's a community event. So with your support and the support of the Hill Association, I think we can put on a good event. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lalonde. And I should say, as a matter of record, that I spoke with Mr. Giancola within the past several weeks. He does have a continued interest, Mr. Lalonde, in generating additional business for all merchants on the Hill from seeing, and we're going to organize a meeting here in the next few months, sir. So thank you. Any other questions or comments? I'd entertain a motion to approve the request of Thrive on the Hill and specifically the closure of Kirchville Avenue on July 18, 2026 from 8:30 a.m., reopening at 5 p.m. from Hall Place to McMillan Road, please.
So moved.
By Councilmember Conrad Wilberding, support by Councilmember Donovan. Any further discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries unanimously. Thank you both very much. Continued success in your new business. Thank you. Next, I entertain a motion to recess the city council and is to convene as the zoning board of appeals, please. Is there such a motion?
I'll make that motion.
By Councilmember Woods, supported by Councilmember Conrad Wilberding. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. We are now acting as the Grosse Pointe Farms Board of Zoning Appeals. The first item on our agenda is with regard to an application for a dimensional use variance for 239 McKinley Road. Who's here to speak on behalf of the owner or applicant, please?
Ramesh Donan.
Mr. Vermeesh, good evening. Your full address is 239 McKinley, please? Thank you. Go ahead, sir.
My wife and I purchased the house to having any children. Since then, we've had 2 kids, 3.5-year-old son and 8-month-old daughter. The house is currently 3 bedrooms and 1.5 bathrooms in the living area upstairs. We're engaged with the builder, who I apologize is running a little bit late today, but he's planning on being here to add an addition off the back of our house, similar to other additions of our neighbors, which would add an additional bedroom and bathroom upstairs, which would provide us 4 bedrooms for when we have babysitter, nanny, in-laws, my parents come and stay and watch the kids. Likewise, I also work from home predominantly. My wife works for the Detroit Public School System, but she also works at home on and off. We have an office that I work from in the back of the house, but when both of us are home, and as my daughter is home with a nanny currently, we just frankly don't have a lot of space to carry out our daily duties, work quietly in our own separate spaces. And then, as I mentioned before, just have the adequate space. So, have the adequate space to have extra childcare help at home, take care of all the toys that comes with 3.5 and an 8-month-old. So the addition would, as I mentioned, provide an extra bedroom for my wife and myself, an extra living space off the bottom, the first floor as well, and just make the house more functional and usable for us to live here for the next 20 years rather than maybe for the next year and a half before we have to find an alternative solution.
So for the benefit of the public, it's a proposed 2-story addition in the rear of the home, first and second floor. Yes, sir? Great. I'll start to my right, Councilmember Ritchie. If you have any questions, comments for the applicant, please.
Yes, I noticed you have 3 email letters of support from your neighbors. They all are asking you to continue doing with it. They're very happy with it. My concern was that, the 35% coverage, and you're asking for 36.4%. The only way you could get that is if you chopped off 4 feet from your addition. And from one of my calculations, it would be basically useless to add that part to your house. So I think your practical difficulty really comes from the 40-foot lot width and the 1 foot or 3 foot, 4 foot setback that used to be 3 feet. Many of the houses in the area are, I saw one that was on the lot line in the driveway. So it came with the 40-foot lot situation. So I'm supporting your variance.
Councilmember Conrad Wilberding, anything?
In order for this.
Councilmember Wood?
I just would reiterate things that we've seen in both McKenna's reports and also in Matt's memo. First, I guess that these current, the configuration of the lot is such that they predate the current ordinance, and as such, you can't extend or enlarge these the structure without the non-conforming structure without without a variance. Secondly, my understanding is that you're going to be building up. You're not going to be building out. You're going to be building in front. In fact, on top of a patio now. Is that correct?
Yeah, we have a patio up the back of our house currently, and then our first floor does stick out about 3 or 4 feet further than our second floor, so we would be effectively using that balcony space as interior living.
Right.
So we don't have to go further.
So you don't have to go out. So basically, you're filling in essentially that patio space. And then in terms of the lot coverage, you're asking for 1.4% additional lot coverage. I see that as minimal. It is self-created, but I don't think that this council is going to be too hard pressed to find that as a negative. So overall, based on what I've read, what I've heard from you, and all, I'm in favor of this area. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Mayor Pro Tem Soroka, anything, sir?
I don't have any questions. My only suggestion to you, as someone who's dealt with a home that was added, is make sure you finish off that crawl space, because that's good storage space. You don't want to go to waste. So just suggest that.
Oh, yeah.
But that looks like a good idea.
Taking as many opportunities to find storage as possible.
That's right.
2 kids.
I know. That's right.
Councilmember Donovan?
No, I'm satisfied, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Any members of the public here wish to comment on the proposed dimensional variance with regard to 239 McKinley? Hearing no one, is there a motion to approve the requested dimensional use variance for 239 McKinley Road as presented?
I have a motion.
Councilmember Ritchie, please.
I move the motion be granted, grant approval of the dimensional variance request to allow construction of the 2-story addition for the property located at 239 McKinley Avenue, as submitted by Kevin and Courtney Vermeesh, to permit a side yard setback variance of 1 foot, allowing 3 feet where 4 foot is required, and a lot coverage variance of 1.44%, allowing for 36.44% where 35 is permitted. In making the decision, the Board of Zoning Appeals has reviewed the following: memorandum from Matt Baca dated February 9th, McKenna Planning Consultant report dated January 27th, Zoning Board of Appeals application submitted December 3rd of 25, submitted site plans and elevations. The findings that the requested variance are in harmony with the intent and purpose of the zoning ordinance. As proposed, the addition does not expand existing non-conforming setbacks and is located in the rear yard. The variance will not increase population density nor burden public services. The proposed structure aligns with the scale, masses, and the character of the surrounding homes, many of which have similar rear additions. The request presents a practical difficulty due to the structure's existing non-conforming legal conditions that predate current zoning standards. Granting the variance will result in substantial justice and will not be detrimental to the adjacent properties nor contrary to the public health, safety, and welfare of the community. The request meets the standards of Article 17 and Article 25 of the city ordinance. Approval is granted subject to the compliance with all applicable building codes, ordinances, and any conditions imposed by the Zoning Board of Appeals.
Do you have a valid motion? We do. Is there support for Councilman Ritchie's motion?
Support.
By Councilmember Wood. Any further discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Mr. Vermeesh, good luck and thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Nice to see you. Thank you. Next, we'll consider a Board of Zoning Appeals application for 112 Kirchville Avenue with regard to the allowance of living quarters on the second floor of that address. Who's here for that, please? Sir, Good evening. Mr. Ford, how are you, sir? Thank you for being here tonight. Please give city council members of the public a description of your application, please, and then I will turn to the city attorney because there's a couple ways to do this evening. If the plan meets with approval, go ahead, sir.
Good evening, Honorable Mayor, and members of the City Council. It's Jesse Ford, and I live at 9 Berkshire, in Grosse Pointe Park. We are here tonight with a conditional use permit application for 112 Kirchhoff and following the recommendation of the planning consultant. We believe it perfectly aligns with the community's vision outlined in the 2023 master plan, which designates this area as a hub for commercial activity, but with a strong desire for more pedestrian activity and mixed use options. Our application is designed to meet criteria for a conditional use, specifically the requirement that use must be similar to and having the same general character as enumerated principal uses and not injurious to the surrounding uses. Proposed live work unit similar in character to the executive, administrative, and professional offices already permitted in the district. And it supports the growth of live work spaces and flexible commercial space as the objective of the master plan. We will not have any external signage, fine traffic, or any activity which would be offensive by reason of odors, weights, and other elements, smoke, waste, or noise. Additionally, the building has an integrated garage on the first floor, which will provide 2 dedicated off-street parking spaces for journalists. This means the project will have 0 impact on public parking availability on the hill during peak commercial hours. The 2023 master plan explicitly calls for mixed-use development to ensure vitality and mentions the objective to consider incorporating mixed-use residential option in existing commercial corridors. This is the public interest that we're serving. By converting the underutilized space into productive space, we promote land use and socially in an economically desirable manner. Create key criteria for our 25. Also by adding a resident provides continuous eye on the screen, maintains the safety and vibrancy of the district. 7. We understand that approval is discretionary and subject to conditions that are reasonable and designed to protect public welfare. We are fully committed to meeting all conditions that council deems necessary to protect the character of the district and will work closely with the Public Service Department on all required building permits and inspections. A conditional use ensures the city maintains control of the site. In conclusion, the conditional use permit that we're seeking provides the ideal framework to allow a valuable live work unit at 112 Kirchhoff. It is a responsible, well-designed project that strengthens our business district, provides its own parking solution, and reflects the vision of our community that they have at the Hill. I respectfully request approval of the conditional use permit and
Thank you. For the record, Mr. Ford, can you just identify for the members of the public what building you intend to build on, what the address of 112 is currently occupied by, and who your builder is, proposed builder?
112 Kirchhoff is identified with the yellow markings on the left, which is a 2-story building between what is now an orthodontic studio and the design studio on the right. On the first floor, tenant of mine is Janney, a wealth management company, and I occupy the second space as a personal and a business office for my production company. I've been in there for 4 years, and it has primarily been used as an office space for my company. As far as identified there, the yellow image, it has the 2 parking spaces with a covered garage out back, accessible through the alley. And the second floor space is kind of already set up as a studio apartment. There are some modifications that we have to explore further with our builder. I've looked with Patrick Thompson Design Architects. We've done some surveys. We've identified some of the potential conversion requirements to get us to that residential compliance. And that would be kind of next step, assuming the conditional use variance.
And if you were granted a conditional use variance, it has to be done through city council. We would recess as the Board of Zoning Appeals and approve the conditional use variance as city council. Is that accurate, Mr. Burgess?
You gotta be careful about the language,
Yeah.
Mr. Mayor. So,
The two ways that this could be approved would be, number one, a use variance, which would be a Board of Zoning Appeals decision and require 5 affirmative votes. It would also require a factual showing of unnecessary hardship if the use variance were not granted. I don't think we've heard facts that would generate that finding this evening. The second way of getting this approved, which is, in my judgment, better way, preferable way, the one that's supported by the facts, would be a conditional use permit. I've heard the applicant use that phrase a couple of times in his presentation. That is a decision of the city council. It would require only 4 votes. The standard for approval is less stringent than a use variance. And I do think you've heard facts presented this evening and in the planning consultant's report and in the written material that would support that. And if the city council is so inclined to consider that route, you would want to recess from the Board of Zoning Appeals and reconvene as city council.
Thank you. Hey, just before I turn it to council, Mr. Ford, as to one of the conditions, if this were to be approved, would you agree not to hold this residence, so to speak, this apartment out for rental on a short-term basis? You're not going to do VRBOs or things of that nature, are you, sir? Thank you, sir. Mr. Wood.
Public.
I'm sorry, public comment first, please. Is there anyone who wishes to speak on behalf of this project? It's in the gallery, please. Any public comment? Mr. Wood.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you for coming in. I'm excited about this. Okay, I'm on your side on it. I want to just clarify for the members of the public and also for us that first, there's no exterior renovation going on.
No, sir, there's no
It's just going to be upstairs on that second floor on a Janney. Isn't it the Janney real estate building? Is that?
Janney's on the first floor.
Yeah.
They're a tenant of mine,
Okay.
the wealth management company,
Okay.
and my office is on the second floor.
So nothing on the exterior is going to be, and then we're not building up anyway. We're not going vertically either. We're just talking about the upstairs.
That's
Right, yeah. I think that, and you've stated it very well, actually, that this is a use that we talked about when we, last year, we did our master plan. And, this is our first, attempt at bringing, folks like you in. And I'm excited about this. I think that it's a test for us to do conditional use rather than use variance, or I gather to do a new zoning effort here rather than B1. It would have to be something else. This is a little bit of an easier way to accomplish our goals. We watch, see how this works, but I'm excited about where this is going. Are you the owner of the building itself then? So you own both upstairs and the downstairs?
Yes.
Okay, good. Listen, I don't have any, other questions. Like I said, I'm excited about where this is going. I think this was very much what we want to do in terms of what we've been talking about in our master plan. And, I wish you the best success. I have a motion to approve and I look forward to this to happen. And we're looking for more of this kind of activity, more residential downtown and downtown, on the hill. And so I'm on your side on this. So that's what I've got to say on that.
Thank you. Councilmember Conrad Wilberding.
Support, thank you for coming in with it. I think that the project is pretty exciting and it really does fit into the pattern of our approval of the master plan. That's the problem that we have. We've got to change some of our zoning ordinances. And this is, you've given us a real push, obviously, to do that. So what our city attorney is recommending is something, that process, because we don't have particular zoning is resolved. I am fully supportive of, and thank you very much for coming.
Councilmember Ritchie,
2 thumbs up.
Councilmember Donovan,
Yes, sir. I had prepared comments, but actually you answered everything. So I'll just state that this conditional use approach allows us to move forward thoughtfully while maintaining ordinance integrity and public trust. And I just have couple of questions. The nature of the proposed work, and we went over the hours, and how this live-work arrangement will impact surrounding businesses, nearby residents, and the overall neighborhood dynamic.
To speak on behalf of the work, my company is a production company that serves commercials, films, documentaries all across the US and internationally. I unfortunately work mostly in front of a computer, doing Zooms all day, across multiple time zones. So again, most of my work is me in this office, managing multiple projects all over the country. And so it's a continuation of that type of work, administrative, producer, so it's accounting, it's Zooms, status. As far as the neighborhood and the residents and businesses, Flyleaf, Lux, all those businesses will continue to get more of my money. Flyleaf can attest, they're 3-4 days a week as it is. So now we'll be making it 6 days that they're open, as well as the other businesses in the area. I've traveled a lot, worked and lived in other cities, and I hope to be, the perfect case study for one of these work opportunities on the Hill. Networking community, kids are as well, and so super excited for this, and I appreciate your support. I look forward to answering further questions.
thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Soroka, please.
I'm fully in support of this. I think the only thing this does is hopefully get us a little kick in the pants to adjust our zoning so that we don't have to deal with things like this in the future.
So is it the desire of council, specifically you, Mr. Wood, that you would like to make a motion based on a conditional use permit?
Yeah.
Thank you. Then I would entertain a motion to recess as the Board of Zoning Appeals and to reconvene as City Council, please. By Councilperson Conrad Wilberding, is there support?
Support.
By Councilmember Donovan. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Thank you. We are now back in our roles as city council persons. Mr. Wood, please make your motion with regard to a conditional use permit proposed for 112 Kirchhoff Avenue.
Mr. Mayor, I move that the application for Jesse Ford, owner of the property located at 112 Kirchhoff Avenue be approved for a conditional use permit to allow a live-work use on the second floor of the existing building, while the first floor shall remain commercial use on Kirchhoff Avenue. All work shall be completed in substantial conformance with the plans prepared by Patrick Thompson, design date stamp January 13th, 2026, which were included in our package. In making this decision, the City Council has reviewed the report from McKenna dated January 27th, 2026, the memo from Matt Baca dated February 9th, 2026, the application materials submitted January 14th, and the architectural plans provided by the architect. City Council finds the following. The application satisfies the 4 standards for conditional use in Article 25 of the zoning ordinance listed on page 2 of the McKenna memo, and also on page 3 of Matt Baca. The proposed live-work use is consistent with the intent and purpose of the B1 zoning district, as it maintains an active commercial use at street level while allowing residential occupancy integrated within an existing commercial structure. The proposed use is compatible with surrounding properties and will not adversely affect adjacent uses due to the absence of exterior modifications and the continuation of the existing commercial storefront. The site and the building meet all applicable dimensional, parking, and development standards, and no expansion of the building footprint or alteration of the building exterior is proposed. The proposed use is consistent with the City of Grosse Pointe Farms master plan, which supports the development of live-work spaces, mixed-use properties, and flexible commercial environments. The live-work use will not be detrimental to public health, safety, or welfare, as it will generate minimal traffic demand limited public services, and utilize existing infrastructure. Proposed use will not alter the essential character of the area, as the exterior appearance of the building will remain unchanged, and the scale and intensity of use are comparable to surrounding development. No written objections were received, as far as we know here, from neighboring property owners. The proposed use is not expected to result in increased noise, lighting, or other negative impacts. The mayor mentioned a condition. So one condition to this motion would be that no short-term rental will be allowed on the second floor of the building. That's my motion.
City Attorney Burgess, do we have a valid motion, please, sir?
You do.
Thank you. Is there support for Councilmember Wood's motion
Support.
by Councilmember Donovan? Any further discussion? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Mr. Ford, thank you very much, sir. We're glad you're in our community. Thank you, sir. Next, please, item 7, consideration of Lake Shore Road seawall feasibility study. City Manager Reside, please.
Thanks. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Lakeshore seawall has been really a topic of discussion for many years now, and particularly in 2020, when we experienced the highest lake levels reported in Lake St. Clair in its recorded history, and where we saw a lot of damage, deterioration of that seawall. We've been fortunate through the help of our state legislators to receive some emergency funding for some repairs, urgent repairs to critical infrastructure along the seawall. And I'm pleased to announce too, we've also received another $1 million allocation to continue some of those what we call more urgent repairs, where you've seen the revetment be undermined, where it would actually collapse in areas and creating voids. And so, this is a continuation of those repairs. But that really is a shorter term solution. We've been fortunate, water levels have come down, so we've seen a lessening of the deterioration and the speed of the deterioration, but water levels will come back up. And so what we really have wanted to do for a long time is work on a longer term solution. And so we've worked with Hubbard Walton Clark and members of the Great Lake Commission in making a proposal to do a comprehensive study with Eagle. And pleased to announce we have been funded. And so there are two things we'll be requesting tonight. One is approval of a subrecipient agreement from the Great Lakes Commission to be the subrecipient of the funding for the study. And then secondly would be approval of the study and awarding that study to HRC. We have Jamie Burton here from HRC, who's going to do a brief presentation of what this is all about and what we hope to achieve.
Mr. Burton, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. Again, my name is Jamie Burton. I'm one of the partners on Hubbard Walton Clark, and I handle most of our environmental work. So this is near and dear. So I'm going to go back a couple quick slides and a couple quick steps, and then really get to the meat of the two agenda items. As the city manager mentioned, there's been multiple years of projects to do more repairs to the existing seawall in its current state. Okay, protect utilities, protect the road, protect trees, and somewhat protect the lake as well. So in 22, you received $750,000, and what are repairs? These are the kind of areas that we're talking about. So you got the seawall, and then right above that, some concrete slabs for revetment. And those, as the waves come up and over, those slabs, sometimes all the way back to the curb. There's a lot of damage out there. So our firm did walk the whole thing, documented it, and then applies $750,000 to the worst of the worst. So 2023, successful in another 1.2 million. So we kept that process moving. We have to go out there, determine the highest priorities, and have them repaired. As city manager mentioned, through a little bit of a different program, but you now have a $1 million project enhancement grant award from Department of Labor and Economic Development. And so we're going to do the same process. So just to kind of count some of the walls. So there's structural repairs in the front, and then it's really replacing kind of the revetment and the concrete behind it as that works. If water gets underneath that with the waves or ice action, it will just deteriorate completely underneath. The undermining that pushes the whole thing out into the lake, or as a wave comes in up on shore. So these are the kind of things that have been done over the last few years. And so I'm going pretty quick here, but the action items for that project, which is really not the two that are on your agenda, I just wanted council to understand where we're at. So with that new $1 million, this is kind of the plan of attack. It's to document, walk the whole seawall again, document the conditions, check on the repairs, make sure the repairs work out, make sure we don't have the same problems, adjust our thought process, get a preliminary scope, costs in April, prioritize them. And then what we want to do is take a quick break and to identify, hopefully by May, the Great Lakes Commission grant has moved forward and really provide us an opportunity to make sure that we are prioritizing areas that we'll never get to, focus there versus some area that we may be looking at for some other means or methods after that. But generally speaking, city manager mentioned this is to repair the worst of the worst. And the Great Lakes Commission implementation money is years away. This is necessary. It has to be done. And then over the summer, we'll go out and get it done. So the exciting part, so Grosse Pointe is also, so for the last 2-3 years, there's been this subtle competition between the US and Canada. We'll go way back in time. Who's got the best shoreline? Who's got the best fishing? And we're getting clobbered. Okay, we're getting absolutely clobbered as it relates to the mass and the diversity of fishing on the near shore habitat, right? You know, the Bassmasters and all the people coming to Lake St. Clair, so it's the gem, right? So they were looking for opportunities, and it just so happens that this stretch represents the last 90% of publicly available harbor shoreline on the US side. Everybody wants to see something done to improve habitat in this kind of not so friendly climate. It's the Olympics, you know, a little bit of competition here. So this went in, I think this is the 3rd year, and this is the year it finally got funded. How these work is we have 3 phases: design, feasibility, what should be done, can be done, how it's going to be done, design of as much as possible, including 2 pilot areas, and then ultimately implementation. Once you're in this pipeline, and you have a good solution that the community can buy into, the implementation money will come. Okay? So what is the restoration? Is the restoration some combination of modified seawall? Is it revetments? Is it break walls? What is it? There's a big hydraulic model, hydrodynamic model that is already being kind of worked on because of the Ford House project and some other projects down the way, and kind of the ability to link and see what can be done to generate habitat. And that's how they look at habitat. But really, how do we do long-term protection of infrastructure, protection of the road, protection of the trees, the view, everything, and also reduce long-term maintenance costs? Because the million is not likely to keep happening, right, over time for repairs. So this will hopefully provide that opportunity. So the focus is nature-based designs. I'll show a couple slides of that in a minute. But really, it's to minimize this impact, okay? There's lots of ways to handle that. I've already mentioned that this process, you get into this process, you have a viable design, community support, implementation money starts happening. This is 100% funded. Each Grosse Pointe Farms, Grosse Pointe Shores, I think, is around 10 grand of this 870,000 so far. We've been working on those applications. It is EPA, Eagle, Great Lakes Commission, Grosse Pointe Farms, Grosse Pointe Shores coming in with you. So that's how this thing goes. But the agreement is with the Great Lakes Commission. So the ultimate feasibility is looking at approximately 120 acres of coastal habitat. And this is this 3 miles is the last continuous 3 miles of public space on the United States side that's available for this. The design phase, we talked about 2 pilots. This project might be a little bit rinse repeat, so the idea is design as much as you can, have it ready, shovel ready aspect of grant funding, and then hopefully get more. But there is pilot design of at least 2 pilot locations. Talk about the 90% remaining stretch. This is significant opportunity for fish and wildlife habitat in addition to municipal fiscal responsibility of not having to keep repairing this over time. So this is, I'm not gonna go through this much, but living shorelines can be a lot of different things. It is not our intent to come in here and assume that the seawall will be removed in its entirety. There's locations where we will do work in front of it. There's locations we will do on it and sometimes behind it. It's all relative to how much room we have and what we're trying to do the model. But it is trying to soften that back up and kind of give it that shoreline that it used to be. I was looking for examples to your scale. And what I recognize, this is a little up there though. This is the Mackinac Island coast around the walkway. Significant ice damage, significant ice potential, significant freighter traffic, through the area in water, various water levels. Not for a trail or a path. This isn't this huge planting plan, but there is native plants. It's really just got to get the habitat in that very near coastal area. But kind of what that could look like when we talk about dynamic redevelopment. But you have a local example of a project that just occurred. The Ford House, if you've seen the news, it's hit the news pretty hard. They've got an amazing project there that kind of comes through the same type of program, same kind of funding. But it's the second project, you will be the third that kind of connects this whole area. The first one that is actually complete is in Chesterfield Township. If you have a chance to go see it, it's an amazing project. They built more breakwaters and allow things to happen behind it. Let the habitat kind of protect it in these breakwaters. And they weren't even done, and the fish numbers, according to DNR, went through the roof. Right, so there is those opportunities out there. Here's kind of a rendering that they show on their website of some of the areas that they did not. I'm not suggesting that this is the solution here. There is some concerns. It's all about the wave action, the direction. This is a different wind direction. There's a whole lot of nuance to it. But I want to kind of highlight that. And then really there's 2 other examples. So that's on the left is Brandenburg Park when the water goes up, kind of showing what that could look like. And on the right is the Detroit River Walk, where they did some of this as well. And you kind of see a little less formal, if you will, of the breakwaters, but really kind of that park appearance without really changing the view from, say, the residents on the other side, right? Okay, so I got a couple thumbs up from the mayor, so I think I'm hitting on the good topics here. But it's not our intent. It's not a planting project. This is the project. Its idea is from bedrock forward is what's in the water for fish habitat, but also stand up to the waves, also stand up to the ice, and really, like I said, reduce those costs. So that's it on my presentation. You have the agreement in your packet as well as our scope of work. You're still rounding out the team, but we are already have asked for approval for the quality assurance plans. We can move this thing forward as quickly as possible once the ice break comes off and start working. Happy to answer any questions.
Who has questions for Mr. Burton? Mayor Pro Tem Soroka.
Yeah, I have a couple questions. Number one, and this may be a Shane question more than anyone, but, or maybe Burgess too, but, Mr. Burgess, obviously Lakeshore is Wayne County's road. Where is Wayne County involved in this project in some capacity? They don't seem to be at the table right now.
They have not been at the table, and that's been kind of a source of concern and frustration, to be honest with you. At Wayne County, Lakeshore Road is a county road. We do feel county has ultimate responsibility. We have been in communication with them, and they have been more cooperative. So some of this funding that we've received previously, they have acquiesced and sent letters allowing Grosse Pointe Farms to be the agent to oversee those funds and have them directly come us through Grosse Pointe Farms. Similar with this project. They also helped with some of the repairs by bringing in truckloads of crushed aggregate to backfill before we put in new concrete revetments. And so, but we have taken the lead and hopefully as we move forward in the next phases, we are including them, we're asking them to participate on, a lot of this will involve public education and having a group that will meet. They've been invited to the table and hopefully will participate.
Yeah, I mean, my concern was them coming in and seeing this money on the table and somehow wanting to appropriate it elsewhere, in some capacity. And as long as there isn't a risk of that, that's fine. The other thing from I really appreciated the focus on kind of the long-term possibility here, because it seems like the definition of a win-win, a chance to improve the environment for fish and all of the things that we get from having a strong fish stock in Lake St. Clair, and also have a long-term solution to the problem of failing seawall over time.
Thank you. Anything, Councilmember Conrad Wilberding, please.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Valuable presentation. Thank you. I really appreciate it. You know, I've read this proposal over twice, and it's lengthy and in parts it can be very tedious. Two things I came away from reading. One is there is an enormous amount of paperwork of reporting that has to be done, and I'm quite sure that you're capable of doing that. Is our staff feeling comfortable with that as well? That's the first question. And then the second question I have is that on page 13, you've got under 31, outreach and communication. And I've just tried to get my arms around what is our function in that outreach and communication.
Right. So part of this is being driven and with assistance from the Great Lakes Commission. So in terms of a lot of the paperwork responsibilities that will fall on the commission. We will have to, again, submit the invoices, for the reimbursement requests and so forth. But most of that paperwork, when reporting with Eagle, will be done by the Great Lakes Commission, because they're actually the recipients of the funds. We're the subrecipient. So in that respect. And then in terms of the public engagement, as part of that plan, we will want to get input. We will look at, as they get further in the engineering, they'll maybe come up with, other approaches. How do we best, alleviate the wave energy and protect our shorelines? And so there will be, I think, options where we will want to get the views of those people who look right across the street on Lakeshore and throughout the community, from the fishing community, for people who are from our boaters. And so we will likely, we will help coordinate that with the Great Lakes Commission. We will have the venue. We will, most likely have it down at the Pier Park and invite the general public.
Councilmember Ritchie.
I'm all set.
Councilmember Wood.
Let's talk about the money a little bit here, Shane. We were awarded $870,000 through the GLRA, right? My understanding is that we're being asked to authorize $788,400 to HRC to do the study. So no general fund money will be spent on this project.
Correct. I mean, there'll be some, obviously there are things that will be, we will be audited, we will be, there'll be some staff time, but no, the actual study is fully funded through this grant.
So we will have nominal costs.
Right. That we will share with Grosse Pointe Shores.
So that was gonna be my next question. This is a 3-mile stretch, including not only farms, but also shores. Shore should be putting in some money too. What is their commitment? We're,
No, we're again, working in partnership with them. So this is covering the area really from Warner all the way up to the yacht club. So it is almost pretty even split in terms of the length of that seawall. But again, this is a fully funded program. There's not a local match that you typically see, a 10% match, as in some grants. The dollar amount, I should say, is not to exceed. There might be a possibility that it, will be lower depending on how things go. And then the total grant from Eagle to the Great Lakes Initiative Commission was in excess of what we expect the study to be. And that is in fact to cover some of those administrative costs and the filing costs that will be necessary to report to Eagle.
okay. Thank you. Thanks, Jack.
Thank you very much. City Attorney Burgess, have you had an opportunity, I assume, to review the recipient agreement? And it meets with your approval, sir? Mr. Burton, thank you very much for being here today. I don't comment much on matters these days, but I think it's vital that we continue in our efforts to improve the seawall, not only on our 3-mile stretch, but see communities are actively in support of that, not only to protect our infrastructure, but to give wildlife habitat, customary grounds that they knew of many years ago. And we know already preliminarily the great work that the Ford House is doing in conjunction with their partners, where they're seeing it's going to be a fantastic project, and this is all going to tie right in. And thank you very much for your time and your expertise. We appreciate it. Why don't we do this, please, in 2 motions? Is there a motion to approve the subrecipient agreement between the City of Grosse Pointe Farms and the Great Lakes Commission for the Lake Shore Road Seawall Feasibility Study?
So moved.
By Mayor Pro Tem Soroka. Is there support? Support by Councilmember Donovan. Any further discussion from the public or council? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Thank you. Next, I consider a motion to approve the proposal of Hubble, Roth, and Clark to perform the feasibility study for the Lake Shore Road seawall. Is there such a motion?
I'll make that motion.
By Councilmember Wood, supported by Councilmember Ritchie. Any further discussion by the public or by council? All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Thank you very much, Mr. Burton. We appreciate your help, sir. Thank you. Next, the consideration of an interlocal agreement with the Conference of Eastern Wayne. Mr. Reside.
Yes, Conference of Eastern Wayne, but probably not a subject we talk about frequently, because frankly, it's a body that doesn't meet that frequently. And really, the main purpose that it was created for and has acted is a way to be able to collect 911 revenue that goes back to the communities distributed within the conference of Eastern Wayne, which comprise the 5 Grosse Pointes and Harper Woods. So when you see on your bill, for like your phone bills, there is a special fee for 911 that is attached to those bills. And those funds are then collected and then redistributed. And one of the ways it's redistributed is through Wayne County and the Conference of Eastern Wayne. Different areas of the county have different conferences. So there's one downriver, there's one west side. And so again, it's basically to receive these funds as part of, and which we include as part of our budget. Separately to the conference, we have a radio system, and we have an interlocal agreement for that radio system. And that radio system again serves the 5 Grosse Pointes and Harper Woods. Our system is operated through the City of Grosse Pointe Farms. We house the equipment here. The signals are on our antenna and the parking lot. And so we track those expenses and bill those communities the proration of those costs. Again, we don't meet that frequently, but I think it decided by the city managers that we felt it made sense really to place the radio system within the Conference of Eastern Wayne. So what we're asking for is an amendment to our agreement, update the agreement with Conference of Eastern Wayne to include the intermunicipal radio system.
Is there any public questions, public comment regarding the proposed updated amendment to the Conference of Eastern Wayne interlocal agreement? Any public comment? Mr. Burgess, have you had an opportunity to review the proposed amended agreement?
Yes, I have.
And does it meet with your approval, sir?
Does.
Thank you. Any comments or questions by members of City Council? Hearing no questions or comments by either the public or City Council, I entertain a motion to approve the updated Conference of Eastern Wayne interlocal agreement as contained within our packets this evening.
So moved.
By Councilmember Conrad Wilberding, is there support?
Support.
By Councilmember Donovan, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Thank you very much. Next, we turn to the consent agenda. Is there anyone who wishes any item, either A through E, to be removed from the consent agenda, please? Hearing none, I entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda for members of the public who are in person and who may be online. First request is for the Grosse Pointe Sunrise Rotary Club to hold the annual 47th Annual Rotary Run on September 19, 2026. Next is a consideration of the reappointments to the Historic District Commission of Jared Canton, Eric Hagglethorne, R.C. Paschke, Richard Solak, and Robert Wood. Next is the consideration of a reappointment to the Board of Review of George Smale. Next is a request for consideration of approval of the January 2026 invoices. And finally, consideration of a request to approve legal invoices of Dickinson Wright. Is there a motion to approve the consent agenda, please?
So moved.
By Mayor Pro Tem Soroka. Is there support?
Support.
Support by Councilmember Wood. Any further discussion from either the public or members of council? Hearing none, all in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion carries. Next, we will receive in the ordinary course of business the January 2026 Public Safety Report, our quarterly financial report. I will now call for any other public comment on any matter that is not on the agenda. Is there any public comment?
I have a public comment, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Donovan.
Sierra Donovan, 297 Shaw Font. In remembrance and announcement. Good evening, Mayor, members of council and administration, and members of the audience. This Black History Month, February, I am deeply mindful of the contributions of African Americans to the diverse fabric of American history. I often think of a quilt as a symbol of that fabric. Its colors, patterns, and shapes coming together to tell a beautiful story. Envision in the quilter's mind, each piece intentionally sewn into a unified whole. I speak this evening in remembrance of legacy and in recognition of responsibility. The responsibility that accompanies life and community and participation in American public life. We continue to draw guidance from the enduring moral witness of Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and Harriet Tubman, whose lives remind us that unity, dignity, and freedom require intention, courage, and sustained care across generations. It is in this spirit that I announce the formation of the committee to reestablish the Grosse Pointe Harper Woods NAACP. This committee aims to rebuild a branch that is active, accountable, and committed to serving the community through education, civic engagement, and partnership. It reflects a dedication to organized participation and constructive dialogue in line with American public history. I sincerely thank the Departments of Public Safety serving the Grosse Pointes and Harper Woods, as well as the mayors and city managers for their participation in past collaboration, thank you, with the previous branch. I look forward to ongoing and future engagement. Now, my second announcement. I am also announcing the Bridge Award, a personal civic initiative. The Bridge Award recognizes acts that bring people together and unite humanity. It honors individuals and institutions whose actions demonstrate courage, forgiveness, and reconciliation, and whose choices strengthen connection within and across communities. This initiative has grown from my experiences in public service, community life, and spiritual leadership, as well as from deep gratitude for those who bore the weight of conscience before me. The award confirms that unity is something we deliberately create, and we create it together through our choices, our words, and actions. These initiatives are provided in the spirit of stewardship and shared responsibility. Thank you.
Councilmember Donovan, thank you very much. Your words are very important to all of us, to not only our community, but those communities that neighbor us. And I hope that we all take an opportunity to recognize how we can improve our own community, improve the lives of others, and celebrate the rich history that not only African Americans, that many others' lives shape this great country of ours and this great city as well.
Yes.
Thank you. Any other comments, Ms. Conrad Wilberding?
Well, Councilmember Donovan, first of all, I thank you for what you just did. I'm a lifelong member of the NAACP, and I was a member of this branch here in Grosse Pointe and Harper Woods. So I'm very, very happy to see a resurrection of it, and perhaps a restructuring of it or a revitalization. And thank you for your work with that. It's important, and it will be, I think it will be embraced. It will be embraced. Secondly, Mr. Mayor, if you'll indulge me, I just want to thank Tim Rowan and Shane Reeside for both of you gentlemen's help with our adult active commissioner, active adult commission. And as a reminder, that's the commission, which I am a commissioner, that manages the millage that we all collected for our services to the senior citizens, including the helm. So it stands Grosse Pointe Shores. But nonetheless, Tim and Shane really stepped in when we had some troublesome areas of funding and confusion. And they were able to mitigate all that confusion and get us on the right financial setting. So thank you very much, and they should be complimented.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Rowland, Mr. Reeside. Thank you. Any other questions or comments from members of council? If not, ladies and gentlemen of the public, I'll entertain a motion to go into closed session to discuss pending litigation. We will not be coming back out with any action items, I don't believe.
And real estate.
And real estate, thank you. Requires a 2/3 majority roll call vote, please. Is there a motion to go into closed session to discuss real estate and pending litigation?
Make that motion.
Motion by Councilmember Wood, support by Councilmember Ritchie. Mr. Kozicki, please call the roll.
Wood. Councilmember Tamara Mosley.
Yes.
Councilmember Ritchie.
Yes.
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 Mayor Pro Tem Soroka.
Yeah.
Thank you. We will meet in closed session. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Thank you. Do we want to stay right here?
Like help.
Yeah, we can stay here. Actually, want to put something on the board.
Well,
I don't know. You're not joining.
well.